Sydafrika in 1931, and the whites had the political and economic power. As a child, what were your thoughts about the injustices?
I don't actually think I ever thought a great deal about it because as a child you were playing with your friends, um, and when you looked and saw that most of the time black people lived in ghettos, and their schools were not as nice as those of the whites. Uh, I don't think you spend a great deal of time uh,
Did you?
worrying.
No. Did you ever meet any white people?
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, my mother used to do laundry for white families, and yes. I mean, you met almost all the doctors. Uh, would have been white, and when you were sick, you went to see the doctor, but in a segregated part of his surgery. You didn't mix with white people. Uh, and yeah, and I mean, when I went to hospital and they found I had TB, the hospital was segregated. But most of the doctors, almost all the doctors that I met at the time, were white doctors. There were some black people who went to medical school, but it wasn't a huge crowd.
How did you see the white people? How did you see them?
Yeah, well, I mean, they were a very privileged group. Again, I mean, I was very blessed in that I met people like Trevor Huddleston. Now, Trevor Huddleston later became the president of the anti-apartheid movement. He was a priest in Sophiatown, just south of east of Johannesburg, and he was a member of a religious community and lived in Sophiatown and was a great friend of.
A white man.
He was a white man, yeah, from England. He was a very great friend of Nelson Mandela, Oliver Tambo, and when in 1955 they had the Freedom Charter. He was one of the people on the stage, and I was in hospital for nearly 2 years, and most of that time he came to visit me once a week in hospital, and I think that helped me, and it helped other people that to know that not all white people were the same. That there were white people who cared about black people, who cared about the injustice that we were suffering.
Yeah. Do you remember the